Well, I'll be. To think that Black Clover will pull a Bleach troll moment. What am I calling it, a Bleach troll moment? Well, you all know those moments when it exactly looks like the villain is defeated and then yes, he suddenly rise up again. Of course, that's very common in shonen, but Bleach was most common about it. Usually because of one thing. We still haven't seen that being solved by that. You all remember what Mars said a long time ago about uh, the things that could defeat him was over meeting the magic or anti-sword magic. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, let's start again. Again. Now we'll start. Hi, for those who are watching. It's the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, and I'm of course talking about Black Clover Chapter 94. And yeah, I basically spoiled the entire chapter by the ending saying that the Smile Freak is actually back, and he's not down for the count. But first, let's talk about the real good thing about this chapter. This chapter is full of very heartwarming moments, and one moment that actually has made a lot of people to raise their eyebrows in a little deep confusion because, well, of an obvious reason, but we'll get to that when we get to that. It's, first of all, Asta being Asta celebrates like hell yeah once again. You know, that's just kind of him. He is. Mars thanks him, and Asta is actually surprised but glad that he does. And in the end, they become like, well, I say friends. He's surprised because of how remember how Mars was back then, but they do it like that, and they are now officially friends. And yeah, Asta's body is pretty well built for someone that age. He also seems to have received a scar here. Don't forget exactly where that came from. And now, finally, we see Fana's true personality, which, by the way, I actually absolutely love. I always complained we didn't see much of Fana's personality, and then it turns out that maybe Fana indeed were brainwashed. We still haven't fully gotten that answered, but you know, we will never get that answer, so I'll give up on that. But now, Fana's eyes are not full of emotionlessness and hatred. No, her eyes reminisce more of a very curious little girl, or a curious girl, more like a curious, adorable girl. And I absolutely love that. When she had that face when she asked Mars if this is his friend on his outside world, I almost melted. Oh, that face is too adorable. Of course, Asta's gang punches Asta in frustration because, well, of him always putting himself in reckless danger all the time. You know, anger born from worry. You know, it has surprised me that no one has actually said this yet. Are you some kind of masochist? That is the only thing that you need to say, and then it's complete. But I don't think they will ever see that. I think it's not good enough to say, is there something wrong with your head? Because in a way you have to say that, yeah, there is something wrong with his head. But then again, there's only those crazy people in manga that really can challenge themselves, don't you agree? As Fansel embraces his two students, seeing them again, he's glad at their smile. And so they ask Fana exactly what has happened, and for the first time she confirms that she doesn't really know. But now it seems like this. We all wondered, didn't Fana die at that time? And apparently Morse even himself knew. I had a theory that maybe she was revived by Lich and something like that. But because if you thought about it, if that really was Fana's true personality, it would have actually been a fitting personality for her. Because if you think about it, being raised from the dead and been denying everything will have made anyone hateful, but it turns out that was not the true Fana after all. So somehow, after she was defeated by Mars, her phoenix magic awoke. You know, well, she did have fire magics, and her I guess it's another type of fire magic. I don't know exactly how many different types of magic there are in Black Clover, but don't get me wrong, I do not complain about that. What I complain about is it would be good if we actually could know one day, but I don't care. Seems like she still had her breath, although she was mildly unconscious, so that corrupt guide wanted to turn her into a soldier after all. However, It seems to not live up to his expectations, so he threw the body away, and then that body was found by, I guess, Lich, given from the hair. However, it is something very strange from what he says. He says something like, "How sad it is, oh my former friend. Even now, same as before, nothing has changed. Humans still continue to hurt their fellow men. Just as you wanted, I'll destroy you, but I need your body, so you must still live." You know, if there's something I hate as Lich as a villain, is his extreme cryptic personality. Because he said the same. You all remember when Gosh, and he said, "I couldn't bring myself to hurt you," and stuff like that. Now things are really taking a new, half strange turn. This almost seems to hint that maybe Fana and Mars had descendants who were friends of Lich. After all, we still do not know exactly how old Lich is, but if that theory that another guy gave me about perhaps that friend of Lich was, that first sorcerer guy, then things are really taking a turn for an interesting. So, according to her, she must have been possessed by someone, remembering someone in intense hatred, and she doesn't remember anything after that. And long last, Mars says that she will never let her go again. Both Mars and Fana blush. And here is where people is actually having a little bit confusion, mostly because they will ask themselves, wait, weren't they supposed to be brothers and sisters? And well, I don't, if you ask me, I don't care. After all, this will sound very controversial, but there has been some mangas and stuff that usually portray that when a person is extreme in an extreme situation, psychological, you can get a little bit with your sibling. Hey, I'm just stating other mangas, animes I've seen, but Black Clover is not that kind of manga, so I doubt it. After all, Mars, when he held Asta, said, "She's my precious childhood friend." So, nah, they very likely not siblings. Although that doesn't explain why they have the exact same hair color, but let's just leave it at this. Okay? Of course, Finral is extremely jealous about that. Well, who would guess? And Noel slaps Aster for because, well, why not? So finally, Vanessa asks why the third eye came here, and she said something about taking back a magic stone. As they decide to help the gang who was wounded, suddenly they felt a huge pressure. And as I said in the beginning of the chapter, yes, it's the smile freak. He has revived and is even more powerful than ever. Turns out even a spirit magic couldn't knock him out. But it was apparently so big that it did take him a while, and so he apparently has released all his magic at once. Uh, what I mean to say is, Mars managed to protect Fana. However, Radis fire and Ladros or Rados fire another beam at them, but this time Aster stops it with his swords. Given Aster never gives up, so he will not give up here either. Still, I wonder though. It would have been good if we had seen the other guys fight for change, but you also will have to remember that Mars said that only an anti-magic sword can hurt Ladros or Rados, whatever his name was, or the Smile Freak. So in the end, the only one who can defeat him is Asta. And as I said before, this is a typical. For me, this felt like a typical Bleach troll moment. The bad guy being knocked out and then raised. The fight with Fana escalated kinda quickly, but this was some heartwarming moments, so I don't care about that. But I still would prefer if we actually knocked out that arrogant asshole, because the third eye was chasing a magic stone. Does that mean that the queen have a magic stone too? Or no, I think a previous chapter said they were actually gonna hunt for Black Bull and take it back. So, mysteries and others, who cares? Either because I still wonder, even if they do manage to repel these villains, I highly doubt the Witch Queen will let them go. But we'll leave it at that when it happens. Give me your thoughts if you have any.